Welcome to episode 15, Christine. How are you? How was your weekend?
I'm good. Our weekend was full of, I believe, just working, and we're expanding our studio actually and moving our hair salon to just be combined with our art studio. So it's a lot of work, and we're trying to get it open by July 1st. And it's scary because we leave for Alaska for a week. So in between that deadline and travel, it's kind of a mess, but that's
Is it going to
fun.
be possible for somebody to get their hair cut while getting a tattoo? Is that going to be a possibility from your combined studio?
Not at the same
Okay,
time,
okay.
but the same day, probably yes.
Okay, so there's going to be like a dividing wall. I can't like have my arm being done while my hair's being done.
Right, right. That would be probably unsanitary. And then
I
imagine having
see.
an open wound and just little hair
Little hairs
flying.
around, yes. That makes sense. That makes sense. Especially me. I have a very short hair, and always I have to have my hair washed because all those little hairs get everywhere. And you're right. Open wound probably not a good idea.
Yeah. How about your weekend?
Lots of baseball. Lots and
Oh,
lots and
nice,
lots of
nice.
95-degree heat baseball. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Still fun. Still fun. Enjoyed my weekend. What's the high out there in Cali these days?
I mean, it's been like high 90s and
Okay, okay,
102-ish, between 95, 102 lately.
okay. Y'all are having some Texas weather out west. Maybe it's just all the looting and fires that are being started are creating
It
creating all
brings it
that
up
heat.
like up 5 degrees.
Right. Well, welcome everybody to episode 15 of By the Rumor. Can't believe we've been doing this for 14 other episodes, but this is,
Wow.
I know, exactly. We are moving around, getting to episode 15. If you're wondering what we do, over here to this side of the screen, there is all the topics we're going to talk about, which are all the things that X is buzzing about lately. That's what our job is, to speak on that. Your job is, if you're listening and watching, is to share out this room. Share it out. Get some people in here, and they can comment. The link on both the one that Christine has retweeted, or the By the Rumor at By the Rumor TV account, or the one that mine, Voice of DeFi, has put out. If you'll click on those, you can actually chat with us, and we will shout you out if you chat while we are talking in here. So we'll talk about those. Then after that, Christine wants to talk about a little bit of the make sure I get this right, the sober society pop culture. I'm messing that up, Christine.
Yeah,
What is the right
you are. Just the rise of sober culture and
sober culture? That's what
yeah,
it is.
it being like a trend now.
Yeah, it definitely is. And yeah, well, I won't spoil any of that. But Christine's going to talk about that. And I'm really interested in hearing about this because this probably would have been a society I would have been a part of when I was youthful. I am no longer youthful, but maybe I am part.
Oh
Christine
my
can tell me
gosh.
whether I am part of the society
Yeah,
or not.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, oh, I would have been part of it. What do you mean would have? Like you
Very
died. Like you died and you're not able to be part of it.
Right, exactly. I assume they don't allow anybody over 30 in their secret society. And anyway, Christine's going to teach us the handshake and all that stuff there. Then we're going to talk birthdays. And then I will talk a little bit about censorship on social media platforms. And maybe you know that crypto was struck yesterday with censorship. So yeah, I will be talking about that. So without any further of that, again, make sure you share out the room. Let's get this party started. Let's start. Christine, Mark Cuban dismisses work-life balance. It says billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban argues that work-life balance is a luxury that ambitious people can't afford due to constant pressure to stay ahead in fear of missing on the next big innovation or investment opportunity. What do you think about that? You're grinding, you're redoing the studio. You have no time to just catch your breath or anything like that. Do you agree? Is work-life balance a thing that only can be afforded to the successful? And if you're trying to build something, there is no time for work-life balance. Do you agree with that sentiment?
So is he trying to say that that's only possible if you're rich?
Yeah, he says, let me just read you the title. It says, Mark Cuban says work-life balance is a luxury ambitious people can't afford because there's someone out there working 24/7 to kick your ass. That's his quote.
Wow.
Do you agree with that?
I don't know. know. I mean, I guess in a way I do. I feel like a lot of people that are super ambitious, they're just honed in on just leveling up in their career or whatever the goal is. And then there is, whether I don't know, like if it even necessarily means that they're super successful, like wealthy or not, or rich or not. But what if you're super ambitious, like I feel like you just hone in and it's pipe dream and nothing else exists. So there's
Um,
always going to be.
yeah, to me, and you know this, I know this. There is before kids and after kids,
Right.
right? And before kids, you have a wealth of time, right?
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much time you have during that time until after kids, when you're like, oh man, what did I do with all my time? And I think this is what he's getting at. Because if you do not have children and other responsibilities, maybe I'll just say it more broadly about like other responsibilities that other human souls depend on you. Before that time, if you're just wasting your time, partying, video games, getting high, whatever, if you're just wasting your time, then somebody's out there not doing those things and grinding, and they are going to be successful against you. Now, once other people start relying on you, you probably can't do that as much. And that's just maybe the sad realities of it. But I do believe that once other souls are relying on you, there is a purpose to you spending your time with them. And it's beyond just getting rich. And you have other
Right.
purpose in life besides just making mad cheddar, yo.
Yeah.
It's
So do you agree with him?
I agree with him until other people relying on you. And at some point, maybe you have to give up the dream of getting rich and you need to get the dream of providing for your family at that point.
But how about if you're like Elon Musk?
Well, Elon Musk did have that dream and he achieved it. So, and he still doesn't. He still,
Right. That's what I was about to say. Like he's still.
yeah, but he's also like, okay, is he a good father to all of his children?
Probably not.
Probably not. Right. Probably not. I know at least some of them say that's not the case.
Right.
I know he
Didn't
also.
one of them disassociate with him?
Yes. He states that the liberal left took his son from him. I'll just leave it at that. And yeah, so and I don't know if that's why he spends less time with that child of his, but that is what is stated. Now he's got lots of children. He's also got lots
Like
of baby
12?
mamas.
Like 10 or 12?
Yes, whatever is the secret to procreation, he's got it. Because that guy, you may have just gotten pregnant by us mentioning his name. If you say his name 3 times, you have his child.
I think I saw some crazy article saying like if you want his sperm or whatever, like he'll give it to whoever because we need to have more population.
Are you,
I'm
are you
sure
in?
that was
Are you
fake.
in? Did you? If you like this tweet, he will send you a vial
Oh
of
my
fresh.
god, that's so gross. Stop talking.
Okay, he's
Oh,
gonna release a soap.
Didn't they
No,
say
sorry.
Amber Heard's like baby that she recently had was from his sperm that she had put away or something?
I mean, I believe it. I don't know that that's that crazy for me not to believe that. But yeah, I'm sure that's a possibility. But yeah, Amber Heard or whoever else, everybody's falling all over themselves to have a little bit of Elon in them.
Oh
All right.
my gosh. Next. Ding ding.
Next,
ding.
ding, 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 next. All right, war in markets. The U.S. and Iran tension is shaking the financial markets. Recent geopolitical tension between the U.S. and Iran is causing turbulence in the financial markets. Stock futures and crypto are down. You can see all the red on our ticker down there, while gold and oil are strengthening amid the conflict. And this is changing by the moment. So last I heard, which Christine, you were the one that broke this to me, that we are in Iran's airspace. Trump is tweeting about it, or he's posting on Truth Social about it. What's this going to do to the markets, Christine? Are we going to war? And if that happens, what's that mean?
Yeah, the markets have been very, very volatile, like more than usual, and we're seeing like a huge dip in everything. I did see a tweet from him today. I don't know if is it still a tweet when it's on Truth Social? Anyway, a post that says
It's a
I think
truth.
the truth. He posted a truth and it said like we've taken over Iran skies or something like that, and I was like, here we go. And I
Yeah.
don't know, I woke up just overwhelmed and just a sense of like anxiety, I feel like, and I didn't know what it was from, but I think it's just a lot of overwhelming information just coming at us from everywhere. I don't even know what to pay attention to because there's just so much going on in the
It's a
world.
lot. And,
Yeah.
I'll say this from different little side projects that I try to do versus like prepping for this show. And I'm sure you're trying to redo the studio and all that. It's like you get behind because things are
Hmm.
moving so fast.
Yeah.
You eat lunch and then you realize, oh gosh, a war started while I was eating lunch. I mean, things happen really, really fast. And unless you're just really in your phone and looking at every tweet as it comes out, you can get behind really quickly.
Absolutely.
And you know, I didn't tweet this to you. I texted this to you. I'm tired of wars. Why do I? I'm just tired of world leaders warring with each other, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what I think is. I guess is what I'm saying, because people care about the wars. People are dying, and you know, I hate that that's happening anyway.
Yeah,
So
like this day and age, we still haven't had it figured out to coexist and not kill each other is insane.
yes,
Crazy.
it's it is crazy. And to be honest, what's happening in the markets really is insignificant compared to what's actually happening with real lives and humans. But people are going to trade the markets. So if I'm going to do a show that has a lot to do with the markets, we have to at least mention that. And yeah, you can see a lot of red that's happening there. But hate that that's
Yeah.
happening over there. The U.S. is getting involved, and I don't know that I'm entirely thrilled about that either, because you can see the tweets that are put out by Iran that says basically like we will have retribution, and I don't I don't feel real good about that
You don't
either.
take it, we don't feel like that's a light tweet towards us. And
No. I believe that they are serious, and
yeah.
I for one, since I live in the States, don't care for that. So, all right, next up, we're here talking, and I don't know if you can see the bottom of the lower third of saying what the we're talking serious war things, and it says at the bottom, 1830s condom displayed in Amsterdam. So let's.
What the heck?
Well, that's the next story, Christine. I can't affect what the next story is going to be. I'm sorry. This is what the next story is. Amsterdam is displaying a condom from 1830 that is enhanced with
Ew.
erotic art. Okay, this isn't just any condom, Christine. It's a condom that's enhanced with erotic art. The condom is made from a sheep's appendix, and it represents both the playful and serious side of sexual health. Christine, if you were near this museum, would you go take a look at what they did in 1830?
Absolutely not.
Why not? Why don't
I
you
don't
care about history?
about it. I don't
Well,
care
yeah, but
about the eroticness in history.
this is history, okay, Christine? You are showing that you don't care about history by
Yeah.
not wanting
I
to see
guess I'm
this.
shallow because I don't care about erotic art
Don't you
from.
wonder about that? You were an artist, Christine. Okay,
I
you were an art.
know, but I'm not an erotic art like person. So maybe if I was, then I would be interested. I
Then you would
just
really
have
like
no,
that?
I have no spark of interest to go.
But don't you wonder whether this art was ever used?
No.
Don't
No.
you wonder on what the inside of this art?
Oh my gosh, I don't freaking care. Holy crap.
And it was also from a sheep's appendix. Don't you think that in those days when like Trojan didn't have a company, find me the ticker for Trojan real quick. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Don't you wonder back then when Trojan wasn't around that people were so smart that they said, "Here's a sheep's appendix. What should I do with this sheep's appendix? What could I do with that?" And they thought, "Aha! I know what to do. I'm going to put art on it. I'm going to wrap it on my member, and I'm going to."
Put it inside of somebody.
I'm going to put it inside of somebody. And then, you know what? 200 years from now, people are going to be talking about this on By the Rumor. That's probably what people were saying back then.
And they were like, the female host won't care, and then the male host will just be so interested in it and
Now,
can't
why do
stop
you think
talking
I'm
about
interested
it.
in I'm reporting on the news. You are the one that's saying that I
That's
am
not
interested
news. You
in
could
it.
have just been like, I don't care about that news. We'll just skip that. You're like, can't wait.
Can't I have to report the people want to know what the news is, and
Oh my God.
I'm doing a service to the by the rumor fans to be able to bring this to them. All right,
Oh,
next up, yes, the public is demanding this. I am not familiar with this index, but this is very interesting to me. The Pentagon Pizza Index. Okay, so let's say you work at the Pentagon, Christine. Okay, imagine yourself that you've made some different life choices and you are working at the Pentagon
in another realm.
in another realm, right? And the words coming down to you that like Iran and Israel are really going to be at war, and we at the U.S. are in for a long night. Okay, and what do, Christine? You're like, pick up the phone and let's order us some Domino's. Okay, you want some pizza. Well, there's people that can follow pizza orders to the Pentagon that can tell when military action is about to take place from pizza orders going to the Pentagon. And sure enough, online observers noted a significant increase in pizza orders to the Pentagon
Today?
prior to Israel's missile strikes on Iran. And this shows a recurring pattern termed the Pizza Index. And this phenomenon suggesting military action was highlighted in the Pentagon Pizza Report. So, Christine, are you going to start following this and trade? Are you going to start trading the markets off of pizza orders to the Pentagon?
I wish I knew what company. Is there a way we would know
There
the company
is
they order from?
there is an X account called the Pentagon Pizza Report, and you
I'm
can
gonna
start.
look. I'm
Okay,
gonna look.
please do. Look at there. Tell me what you think of what it says on there while I finish up this last minute of that. But yeah, you can go to the Pentagon Pizza Report, and in the comments, people will say like, "Looks like we're in for a long night."
Oh my
as
God. There's
as you can check.
128,000 followers on the Pentagon Pizza Report.
Right, right. And look at some of their last tweets. You can actually see.
Yeah, 4 minutes ago, while some closer pizzerias to the Pentagon are experiencing a slower day, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, and Extreme Pizza are experiencing heightened activity.
There you go. So you see
Holy
now
crap, man.
as you
What movie are we in? This is
as you're wondering, like, should I put in that leap on Boeing? Right? You're wondering, should you put in, see what, the different war associated stocks are doing. Now you can look at the Pentagon Pizza Report and decide whether to invest or not.
And today on the Pentagon Pizza Report, that's so
Exactly.
funny.
Exactly. So there you go. Now I've given you a new way to invest. The
Wow.
Pentagon Pizza Report. So
I'm gonna
crazy.
look at that like the weather app.
Right, right, right.
Day.
You're like,
Every
you're
day.
like, oh, it looks like it rained overnight. Looks like it's going to be a humid day over in Cali, and oh no, it looks like the Pentagon ordered an extra 100 Papa Johns last night. Things are getting pretty serious. Right,
Situation room.
right. Exactly. They get ready in the Situation Room, and they're not going to go without a couple large pizzas in there. So yeah, they got to get ready. All right, Senate is moving towards crypto regulation. The U.S. Senate is progressing towards finalizing the Genius Act. It is a landmark piece of legislation designed to regulate the $250 billion market for stablecoins, which, Christine, it says right here, is a type of cryptocurrency. Okay, the stable coins are. So, yeah, I'm really helping your
Type.
knowledge out there.
The
Yeah,
type.
it's a type of cryptocurrency. So, let me ask you this. Why do we need regulation for it? By the way, I'm not saying that we don't. I'm just asking you the question for good discourse here.
Yeah.
Why do we need regulation for cryptocurrency? And two, is all of these, banks, institutions forming a stable coin that they need this regulation for? Is that wise, or is that going to blow up in our face?
To my knowledge, I thought that this administration was against the government creating their own coin, and they're
Well,
kind
this
of
isn't the
just
government. This is any stable coin. So
any.
this could be like Bank of America forming a
Oh
stable
yeah,
coin.
no, I don't. I hope that that doesn't happen, but it most likely will because whatever we don't want, that's what happens.
Exactly.
I do believe the reason we need, I don't know if I want to say we need regulation, but have some sort of regulation because a lot of people don't trust it because of the scams that happen and people want security. And unless there is some type of security, people like the world doesn't jump in. Like the common Jack and Sally won't, they don't want to touch it. Like unless there's some type of regulation, they don't care until the banks are like, "Hey, we're in."
That's well, yes, you're absolutely right, but it's a certain generation that does that. It's the
Oh yeah,
boomers
yeah.
that really want that, right? Because I don't know that Gen Z is as much concerned of what Bank of America is doing these
Right,
days.
right. Yeah.
But if you talk to, grandma, she only trusts it if it came from there. So
Right.
I guess this could be a way for a different generation to get into crypto. But I've already learned from that generation, from the ETFs, they don't care about crypto as what we think. Oh, it's so cool that it's permissionless and it's decentralized. They will even say, I've invested in Bitcoin, but they're not, they own zero Bitcoin, right? They just mean that their financial advisor put into the Bitcoin ETF or something like that.
Right.
They don't own Bitcoin. So yeah, Genius Act, let's follow that because I want to see what happens with that, because it really could change how some things are regulated. And all these things have a trickle down effect, even to us who may actually buy actual stable coins rather than Bank of America stable coin. All right, this is actually interesting. I don't know if you saw this. Are you familiar with what's the FBI director's name? His last name is Patel.
Patel. That's all I know. Ken?
Yeah. Ken,
Is it Ken?
anyway.
Ken Patel? I don't know.
Sure, Ken Patel. Let's go with Ken Patel. FBI documents reveal a potential plot by the CCP, by China, to influence the 2020 election by sending thousands of fake driver's licenses to the U.S. They got that from Wish, I'm sure, to secure fraudulent mail-in votes. And Mr. Patel, he put out a tweet that says they've got now all this information and he's ready to release it to show what happened in the 2020 election, that maybe China may have influenced the election. And now knowing, because obviously they would have influenced it, maybe I'm crazy here, they influenced it in favor of Biden, right?
I'm guessing so, yeah.
Well, now knowing what Trump has done with China since then, since he has been elected, it would behoove China for Trump not to be in office, right? Because they don't want this trade war. They don't want all of this. So
Right.
I could see that happening. So let me ask you, because I know you are a proud carrying member of a tinfoil hat. Okay, I know you probably
Yes, I
put
am.
it to the side. Yes, you probably put it to the side and don't wear it during the show, which I appreciate. It doesn't look good on TV, but I'm sure it's right there next to you. Do you believe that he's actually onto something, and that there was some sort of improprieties going on in 2020?
I believe so. I think that, there was a lot of talks about influence and fraud. And remember, they were saying Russia was part of it, and now hearing maybe China was. And I don't think he would say something like that unless there was hard evidence to back it up. So
Yeah.
I do believe that something like that can happen.
Well, I mean, you've got the director of the FBI saying that they have evidence.
Right.
And let me just say this, regardless of the administration, and I really do mean this, and I don't know who the director with the FBI was before Patel.
Wasn't
'cause I
it
don't-
Comey or something?
Yes, I think you're right. So my point is, regardless of administration, whether I agree with the administration or not, whether they're for the side that I root for or not, if the FBI director says they have some kind of information, I want to know what that information is, and I want to know whether there's any credence to it. So let me just say that about this information. I want to know what that information that he has, and I want to know once I see it if I have any credence to it, because that sounds interesting to me,
Right.
if they actually do have that. All right.
Same.
Next up, have you seen the anonymous video that came out this morning?
This morning, no.
Okay.
What did it say?
Well, are you familiar with Anonymous, the
Yes.
hacktivist organization that wears the Guy Fawkes, is it Guy Fawkes mask?
Guy Fawkes.
Yeah, Fox.
Yeah.
It's a foe. Anyway, anyway, they wear those masks, and they actually came on there claiming to have classified documents that expose a false flag operation designed to drag the West, reading America, into a full-scale war. And they vow to release these documents if a certain line is crossed. I don't know what that certain line is, but you should watch this. Actually, I should have got it pulled up and we could have just watched it on here, but it'd take me too long to be able to do that now. The video is 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes long. I don't remember. It's got a gentleman that's talking. He's got a countdown clock in front of him. You can see if you could pull it up right now. He's got a countdown clock in front of him. And he's just talking and is basically saying that there is a terror attack that could happen in the US that would be blamed on our enemies, okay? That would be blamed on our enemies. But he says it would actually be a friendly country to the US that would be doing it so that we would then hate our enemy and then go to war with our enemy, even though it was actually friendly fire that was done to coerce us into doing something that we normally wouldn't do. That's what Anonymous says they have information on. Okay, this is a lot like the FBI thing, I guess, a lot like the Patel thing, except this one is saying that something could happen on our soil. And if a certain line is crossed, they will release these documents and show exactly what's happening. So, tinfoil hat, what's really going on here?
So what's crazy about like the anonymous account is for I would say about 8 to 10 years now, it's kind of been hijacked where it's like I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
I guess anonymous, right? Like it could be anybody, and so many accounts has popped up like these past years with all this information and a lot of misinformation and a lot of
Yes.
it's just kind of hijacked from the original one, and I don't
Yeah.
know what to believe or who. And then from what you're saying that they posted today, it kind of sounds, I mean, the huge hint of who it might be.
I
I
mean,
just,
here's my thought. They have this information. Okay. Reportedly, they have this information. What's with the countdown and everything? This is like the Epstein files, right?
yeah.
Just release it, right? If you got some information, just give us the information. Let's see it.
Right. I remember there was a anonymous post about that guy. What's his name? The one that shot the insurance dude.
Luigi
Luigi. Yeah.
Mangione. Yeah.
They also had like some countdown clock going on and saying like at this time, and if they don't do
That's
this, it's gonna,
right.
and nothing happened. That's why I don't know. It's either we're numb to just so much things happening that we're like, I don't know. We don't know how to feel about this. Or there's just everything's been so hijacked with these countdowns, and Anonymous just posted this, and but there's so many that I just don't know what to believe anymore, and it's just like whatever happens happens, I guess, because there's
Yeah,
so many countdowns.
absolutely. There has. I don't know why they wouldn't just release the
Right.
information, but on the other hand, much like the FBI, I'm interested. I want to know. I want to know what they've got. Much like I want to know what what the FBI has on the 2020 election. All right, that is the top stories, or at least the top stories that we're covering here. We'll cover a couple more of all of the two topics that Christine and I want to talk. If you have not shared out the room, make sure you do. We're trying to grow our audience a little bit here. I feel certain, Christine and I talk about this a lot. I feel certain that the style of show that we do here is different than most. And so I feel like if more people would see what we do, then more people would stick around and we can kind of grow organically. And to be clear, we are growing organically. Almost
Yeah.
every show is bigger than the previous show. So appreciate everybody for listening, whether it be live or as a replay. But if you are listening live, then please do share it out and we'll get those live minutes up.
We love
All
you.
right. We do love, thank you for saying that, Christine. We do love everybody here. All right, with that, it is time to head into the corner, not just any corner, Christine's corner. So let's do this thing.
Christine's Corner, where the buzz is hot. Crypto trends or the latest pop plot. From gadgets that glow to stars in the sky. If it's on her mind, you know it's gonna fly. So plug in, tune in, let's take that ride. Cause Christine's Corner's
Corner,
where
the cool stuff hides. Okay. Didn't even know that line was on there, did you? All right, what is up? Sorry, I got a little panicked because your image was too big on here. Oh, no, it says End of the World Index. That's not true. That's not what you're talking about. Just a second, let me fix this. Right now. There we go. Sober pop culture is here. You're also too tall on this. I have to fix all this. I'll
What
do it
is
while you're talking.
happening? What is
I know.
happening?
I'll talk to the producer. He's an
Talk to
idiot
the
anyway.
producer.
Yeah,
He's fired.
yeah, exactly.
While he's fixing the screen, let's talk about the rise in sober culture and it becoming a trend. And I did believe that Voice would love hearing about this because he himself is sober. And we'll hear about his story and why he became sober or what the deal is and why. And the continuance of it, but you know when something's going to be a trend when it starts popping up in the big cities like LA, New York, London. And a lot of I think there's been a shift towards just alcohol free. People started noticing that there's alcohol free events. And that was something that's new. A lot of businesses didn't recognize it, but now I'm sure you guys see when you walk into bars or even restaurants, they have like mocktails sections. I don't know if you guys have it there. Oh, Austin started having restaurants that offer
Now, what do
that.
you mean a mocktail section? You mean like in the menu?
Yeah, in the menu. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so you're starting to see that, and that wasn't a thing. You know, before you just asked for like, oh, could I get a Shirley Temple? You're also starting to see a rise of NA beers, so the non-alcoholic beers, and it's by huge companies like Corona, Heineken, and whatever. And people are asking why this has become a thing, and I think it's just like the whole wellness, like the rise of wellness. And you know, we saw a shift towards like physical fitness, that being a trend, and I think just being more productive and entrepreneurship. It's like out with the old, in with the new. My daughter, our older daughter, even said, hey, when you do these posts, when you go out with your friends and you guys toast or whatever, she's like, it gives old people vibes. And I think it's because even the younger people, I think they're starting to, you know, they look at cigarettes like it's gross. I think I'm starting to see a shift in vaping. They're like, oh, that's gross as well. And then now my daughter's telling me when you do toasts with your friends or with the shots, like that's gross. It's giving old people.
Oh, wait a second. I want to ask a couple things about you, because you have insight with a daughter that's of the age that would be interested in like these kind of cultural trends, I
Yeah.
should say.
Yeah.
And so, first of all, she thinks toasting is old. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I could get behind that, I think. Now, I'll get into the me not drinking thing here in a second.
Yeah.
I feel awkward when I toast. So I could get behind that. If that gives old people vibes, I can easily stop doing that, because I always feel, I don't know, just the clinking and everything. I feel awkward. So this will help me feel less awkward. Now, a lot of people will say you probably should have a drink and you wouldn't feel so awkward whenever you're toasting, but I feel awkward whenever that happens. Secondly, I get that you said smoking is looked down on for health.
Yeah.
But you surprised me when you said vape, because as soon as you said smoking, I thought, oh yeah, that's because this generation is vaping.
No.
Is that not the case anymore?
I
Now
guess
they're thinking,
we're starting to see a shift towards, oh, it's gross in general. And I'll vape sometimes,
Interesting.
right? Don't cancel me because I vape sometimes. But it's so funny because people that do vape will grab my vape and they're like, oh, this is gross. Because it's 0%, like there's no nicotine.
Nicotine in it,
and they're
right.
like, what's the point? I'm like, I don't know. I
So-
just like the flavor.
I was about to say, so it's a flavor thing for
Yeah.
you. Why not just have a Jolly Rancher? Just speaking of old
because
people.
there's no smoke that comes out of the Jolly Rancher. It's like fun.
So it's a look.
Whatever.
It's a look you're looking for.
No, it's a feeling of blowing smoke.
Okay, it's a feeling of blowing smoke. Were you a
I sound
smoker like
old.
back in? Were you a smoker like back in the day, like
When I
long
was
ago?
young, like 20s, I would socially, and never became like an actual smoker of like just going outside smoking cigarettes. But it's crazy to see, right? Like that even vapes, because at one point
It is.
it was very trendy with younger people, especially because of the flavor and this and that. Yeah, they're shifting away from that, and they're starting to
Crazy.
have events. And one of them is called Daybreaker. It's an early morning dance party that swaps vodka for kombucha and encourages connection over cardio. And Sands Bar in Austin, which offers full nightlife experience without a single drop of alcohol. So you'd love that bar or that club in Austin.
Yes. Maybe I'll drop by, see what's going on. I'll do a buy the
Sober.
rumor.
Yeah. Sober
on,
dating mixers, mocktail crafting workshops, and even dry music festivals. And these aren't sad, watered down versions of real events. They're vibrant, intentional spaces designed to foster community without the crutch of intoxication.
Very, very. This is
Crazy.
really okay. So I'll give a little bit of my story and
Yes,
how my.
yes.
You ever just feel like you were born in the wrong generation? I do sometimes. I do
All the time.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like one generation younger, I would have vibed with a little bit more, because whenever I was growing up, if you weren't drinking, you weren't cool, or at least considered cool. God, let it be known, Christine, I was cool. Just ask my
I
mom.
believe you. I believe you.
But let it be known, at least I thought so. But if you didn't drink, then definitely there was this like, what's your deal? As to where now there would have been events that were like catered to the things to my like lifestyle, and that wasn't the case then. So whenever I was about 3, whenever I was about 3 years old, I was at a homecoming event for my mom's homecoming. A football game. Surely they have homecoming at like football, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing in California too.
Yeah.
And I was very young, and my mom asked me, "Do you want to ride with your uncle, her brother, or me?" Well, the uncle was the fun uncle, so rode with fun uncle. And going home, I don't even know where we were going. It was in the fall because it was in football season. My mom had a wreck, and had I now my mom lived, just to not make this a super sad story. My mom did live, but I would not have. I mean, it was a head-on, 2 people going 55 miles an hour. Had I chosen to ride with my mom, I definitely wouldn't survive because I was 3 years old, and it was a long time ago. No need to give any years here. It was a long time ago, and car seats weren't quite as much of a thing. I would not have survived, just plain and simple. I wouldn't have. So as I grew up, it was, well, why did this happen? Why my mom really was injured through it and everything like that. Well, why did this happen? Well, it happened because of a drunk driver, right? And that's what I grew up just knowing was a drunk driver caused this and almost, killed me through that. Right. So I grew up just knowing that little fact. And so as you get older and friends start drinking and everything, there definitely was this aura over alcohol culture that I was just I don't know. Cause I grew up hearing about the dangers of alcohol because of that. Right. Okay. Not to mention that I didn't learn till years later that my father was a closeted alcoholic, that sort of thing. So all kinds of oddities around this. That being said, I believe now that it is good that I didn't drink because I think my makeup would be in an addictive personality sort of a thing. So I think I have what it takes to be an alcoholic. Let me just say that. So I think it's good that I didn't. Now, so I didn't drink, and then you almost are social pariah. Now you're telling me that these kids are out there having a good time, celebrating the fact that they are not drinking, that they are sober. Mm-hmm. What is wrong, Christine? I was born in the wrong generation. I feel like I could have been one of the cool kids.
You could still be one of the cool adults hanging out with these kids, because I don't know how, your kids might just be right on time with that. And then they don't want to drink, I don't know how you have it in your household about alcohol, with the kids, but I do know that I do see a lot of people drinking these Heineken Zeros, Corona Zeros, and this and that, and it's no one's bothering them about it either, because I know that you probably saw the bullying of people that don't drink. Sure. They kind of just harass them and why don't you, they were taking it personal, right? And I'm sure it's happened to you multiple times, and it's crazy to hear your story and that it came from a traumatic event to lead you to have made this life decision of, hey, I don't like it, I don't care for it. And then you're seeing this cultural shift with a lot of people, not just young people though, they're just staying away from alcohol, not necessarily because of a traumatic event, just being better, I guess, and just having more clarity, mental clarity, productiveness, and they enjoy the taste of cocktails, so they'll do mocktails. There's no alcohol. And then you're seeing businesses cash in on it, and that's when you know there's a trend that's big enough to catch the eyes of businesses, when they're creating zero alcohol beer. And they're creating mocktails and bars and festivals that are just dry because they see money in it. They don't care if there's alcohol or not. They're if there's money there, we're going to create.
This sucks. Let me tell you something that sucks about this generation. I sound old when I say that. Let me tell you something that sucks. No, this is, let me tell you that something that sucks for this generation. So I've got this group of kids, or let me just say young people, because these kids are starting to, they're drinking age now, or, whatever. It sucks. I've got the previous generations that were being horrible to their body, right? and they had good economies, right? And now I've got a generation of kids or younger people that are taking care of themselves, right? And making wise decisions with their own bodies. And we've given them this crap load of an economy, and they don't get to like have both. I don't know. Wouldn't it be great if they had a great economy and are making the decisions that they're making? Instead, like boom, student loans, deal with that, brah. And they're making all their good decisions. Anyway,
Yeah,
sucks for them.
war, deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. It does suck for them. But yeah, so I don't even know that I've said, I know we've met several times in person, even at places that serve alcohol and things like that. And I don't know that I've ever told you that story,
No.
but you know, as you grow older, obviously you can make, you know, I've made my own decisions at that point. And I definitely did have that where people are like, why not? Like you said, and almost getting mad and angry that I wasn't because they
weird.
feel like I'm judging or something like that.
Yeah.
And I probably had to like use like wittiness to like, you know, I wasn't going to fight them because and sometimes it seemed like they wanted to fight me because
Yeah.
maybe that's just redneck Texas. I don't know. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I had to like be witty enough to answer all their questions to their satisfaction and that sort of thing. So
It's crazy that you need an explanation, on
yeah, you
why.
wouldn't think, because I'm always like, have your drink, brah. You know, enjoy your drink. Yeah, you know, you make your decision. I mean, and thing is, we wouldn't even be talking about drinking in that particular conversation if they wouldn't have brought it up to me. Otherwise, we would have just been talking about the Cowboys or something like, you know,
Right.
just something. The only reason drinking was a topic in those discussions when I was younger was because they brought it up, because they noticed that I didn't. Now, you know, I can tell you, anybody that doesn't drink in that era, they knew some secrets. Keep a drink in your hand,
Yes.
something like that to, you know, keep the red Solo cup in your hand and nobody will think a thing. And yeah, so I made my own personal decisions for different reasons. These kids are doing different decisions for their reasons. I've got one more idea that they might be not partaking in drugs and alcohol as much. You can tell me what
What?
you think of this. Phones, video games, they're getting their dopamine elsewhere. In the 80s, you didn't have the internet to doom scroll. You didn't have, video games like now. I understand you did have little Nintendo, that sort of thing, but it wasn't the same with online gaming. And so it's like, I need my dopamine fix. And they would go out and have, you know, drugs, alcohol, that sort of thing. I think this group is perfectly content with how they're getting their dopamine fix out of phones and that sort of thing. And in my mind,
Could
maybe
be.
they're looking maybe they're not looking elsewhere, I guess is what I'm saying.
Could be, and I guess being on drugs or under the influence of alcohol or anything, you would just fall asleep and not be able to doom scroll or play video games.
Right. So just an idea that perhaps is correct. I don't know, just a theory that I have of why some of this is going down. But I find it extremely interesting that cigarette use has went down over the last so many years because of health reasons. Now that I wouldn't have ever, if you would have told me that alcohol use is going to go down because of health reasons, because of people are making smart decisions with their body, I would have told you, no way, not
Yeah,
a chance.
I know, right? It's crazy. It's crazy to see. And for no particular reason than just no, I just don't want to. I just feel like I feel better without it. And
Yeah.
for me, I enjoy like a social drink or a glass of wine like every other night, whatever it is. And it's shocking, I guess, to see that there is a trend like this, and I think it's awesome. It's just I'm shocked as well, just like you are. And then would you partake in like the zero corona? They look the same. I don't
Sure.
even know how people see that it's different. And I think they
Yeah.
do that so people feel comfortable, like, and people don't
Yeah.
get harassed by, hey, why aren't you drinking a corona or
Right.
whatever it is. And I think there's a tiny little label that says like NA, but it tastes exactly like it to me. And there's more and more companies, these beer companies, that it's crazy. Have you
So
had one?
yeah, I mean, to be clear, yeah, I would have no problem having a drink of a mocktail or something like that. I have I have tasted beer before, and not something I'm looking to recreate in a non-alcoholic form. I think beer is an acquired taste, and
Yeah,
obviously from
it
my
is.
history that I've just told you, I have not acquired that taste.
Right. I mean, the taste is weird anyways.
Correct. And, there's a lot of things where I'm not trying to make other people feel weird about my own alcohol choices. For instance, you go to a nice dinner and somebody says, oh, I bought this nice bottle of wine or whatever.
Right.
And I could do the thing where I'm like trying to be like, hey, we shouldn't waste this on me. I'm not going to realize it's nice. Like, I'm not going to taste it and realize that it's nice. Or is it better to just like let it pour right there and then,
You just never touch it?
Right. Or if I do sip it, just basically do a courteous, bring it to your mouth type of thing and then move on. So, yeah, we could probably talk a whole hour about the social aspects of drinking and not drinking, and that would be it's very, very interesting. But it's crazy that there is a culture around this, like literal events around this,
where businesses are booming on this like non-alcoholic trend.
And like you said, that's isn't that a signal that this is for real, right? That there's businesses behind it for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to see where it ends up if we end up in like World War III or something, because I know that history has shown that when there is like a depression or war, like alcohol sales go.
Oh, alcohol. Yeah. You and I have talked about that before in some
Yeah.
of our other trading talks is like buying Anheuser-Busch whenever war starts happening is not a bad move.
Doom
right?
and gloom stock index.
Correct. It's kind of like my AI end of the world stock index,
Yes.
right? So, yes, whenever war happens, it seems that people turn to alcohol. And you're right. Let's see what would happen if there's a generation that didn't turn to alcohol when things got stressful or anything
Right.
like
That'd
that.
be cool to see that. Hey, they actually didn't. They just played more video games.
Right. Now we're longing Sony and we're shorting Anheuser-Busch. Don't do that. I still think, well, I don't know. I don't know what I think.
I don't know what I
whatever.
think. We
in
know
that.
that we don't know anything.
Yes, that's the difference between this show that has a lot to do with investing and trading and other shows. We will tell you that we don't know anything. We're here for the learning aspect just as much as anything, as to where others will say, oh, I'm an expert, listen to me. This is two people that love to observe, much like I think most people do, rather than the fake gurus that are out there. All right, with that, great. Every week we come up with good topics, and every week I'm like, what are we going to talk about? And every week we end up having a great topic. So fantastic one that you chose there. Let's talk about some birthdays. All right, let me bring up my little birthday cheat sheet. You know how to do this, Christine. I'm going to tell you a little bit about people. I loved last week's
I didn't.
segment. It was great. I don't know if you saw, but I had cut that down and put it in a little short video. Everybody check out last week's to see if you can see that. I've only got 3 birthdays that we're going to talk about because I thought there was only 3 that were notable. So the first one I'll read. This is an American actor known for his roles as Harold Lee in the Harold and Kumar films. He's also Hikaru Sulu in the Star Trek reboot film series. He's played roles in American Pie and the TV series Sleepy Hollow. He turns 53 today. Any idea who this is, Christine?
I forgot his name. I'm trying to think, but I know it's not this person on the cheat sheet you sent me, because it's definitely not Tony the Tiger.
Tony the Tiger. No, it's not Tony the Tiger. I don't know where you would have gotten that idea,
Oh
but his name is John Cho, and yes,
John
he
Cho,
was he is Harold from Harold and Kumar, and I believe he plays in American Pie. He's known as the MILF guy.
Wow,
So-
55.
53,
Wow.
53.
Oh, 53. Whatever.
Yeah,
Same
50,
thing.
50.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Do you remember the MILF guy in
Yes.
American Pie? MILF,
Yeah.
MILF. Okay, yeah. All right. The next person on here is an American professional golfer. He's won 44 events on the PGA Tour, include 5 major championships, 3 Masters titles, a PGA championship, and an Open championship. He turns 55 today. Very good golfer. Who is a very good golfer, Christine?
I want to say Tiger Woods, but your cheat sheet says Captain Crunch.
Okay, it is not Captain Crunch. I don't know. Don't accuse my cheat
Oh
sheet
my
of saying that. It's not Captain Crunch. It's actually Phil Mickelson, Tiger's arch rival. So Phil
Oh,
Mickelson
shoot.
is 55 today, born in 1970. My third one I have on here, actually, for some reason, my cheat sheet is gone. So this is going to come straight from my memory. This is a gentleman that is a rapper. He claims to be from the West Side, from California, although a certain person that's close to you tells me that that's not really what he's about. He wrote California. He sang California Love. He also did To Live and Die in L.A.
Oh, wow.
Christine, who is this? What rapper is this?
I'm gonna say Tupac, but yours says Toucan Sam.
It is not Toucan Sam, which isn't that great that it's Toucan Sam, and instead it is Tupac. You're right, it is Tupac Shakur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's the age there? It says on Toucan Sam.
It is 53.
He'd be 53. Wow. Okay. Believe that's right. But yeah, Tupac Shakur's birthday is today. Yeah. So Christine, just so y'all know, she always cheats and looks at whatever I have on a cheat sheet. And so I started putting, last week I put Punch-Out characters from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And this week I put in cereal mascots as the name. So I'll continue to do that. You suggested Street Fighter, which I think would have been fun. But
yeah, would have.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that again some other day. Until then, let's do a little voice lessons.
Voice lessons, you're hearing loud and clear. Tech and crypto wisdom, the truth is here. Big thoughts, bold moves, cutting through the haze. When the voice speaks up, you'll be amazed. So listen up.
Why is all of your images?
I know, you're just trying to cut me out of this podcast.
That's right.
I know that's what's happening.
Eventually the line, this white line that's dividing us is like going to move over and over and over. Yeah, that's right. You're right. Until you're finally just gone completely. All right.
Like,
just
perfect.
Yeah, until I'm like, yeah, that's exactly where I want it to be. No. I would never do that to you.
You're like, move a little bit to the left. More.
You're getting so close. You're getting so close. All right, let me bring up my notes on here. So, check this out. This is something that happened yesterday. You really are moving to the side. Move to your right or something. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's
now, do you
still
feel
cut
weird?
off.
No, you're not. You're there. You're there. But it did look like you were just kind of moving to the side. I'm gonna hit you, punch you. There we go. Yes, there we go. See?
Okay.
Easily slap you.
I'm serious now.
Now we're serious. All right. Who controls crypto, whether it's censorship, shadow bans, and the Pump.Fun fallout? Yesterday, X suspended the official account of Pump.Fun and its founder, Alon Cohen, and more than 20 other meme coin linked profiles. There was no warning. There was no explanation. Just boom, they were suspended. And as of this morning, I went to a few of them and they are still suspended.
Wow.
Last year, let's not forget this, the Pump.Fun founder was arrested in London for allegedly draining 1.9 million from the platform, okay? So is this a much needed crackdown for bad actors, or is this the start of a dangerous precedent where crypto is silenced by platform power? First of all, let me ask you this, Christine. Why is this happening? I thought Elon was real crypto friendly. Why are we suspending
That's what I was going to ask you. Did something happen? Like, did something else happen similar to when he got arrested or something that he would?
Well, here's the thing. This isn't just Pump.Fun. For instance, Pump.Fun was suspended. Alon Cohen was suspended. At Bloom Trading, at GMGN, and at Eliza OS. Now, Eliza OS, you've actually sent me this before. That's A16Z's AI chatbot trading bot. It has nothing to do with Pump.Fun.
Weird.
So it's more than just like, oh, Pump.Fun is, is in illegal activity or, it has something to do with their meme coins on Solana. No. This is broader than this. Now, it does appear to be all Solana based, but that's where most meme coins are right now anyway. So I don't know that it's targeting Solana. It could be. But the theories are ranging from violating some sort of API rules, okay, whatever the API rules are, triggering spam filters, or regulatory pressure tied to meme coin pump and dumps. I don't think it's the last one. Why?
Okay.
Because the leader of the U.S. has his own meme coin and his wife has her own meme coin. You wouldn't think that they would make any kind of legislation that would then be coming against something that they have done. Just a guess. Another Pump.Fun developer, let me give this little information, at Stack Overflow. Now that's STACC overflow, not Stack Overflow like what developers would use, allegedly used an admin key to mint and rug pull tokens worth $1.9 million in under 2 hours. He put it to the front page where everybody would see it and they're investing it, okay? He was arrested in London, released on bail, and underwent a mental health evaluation and later pled guilty.
Wow.
While he acted alone, the scandal triggered broader questions about who has access to this, platform trust, and who's accountable. Now, Christine, let me get personal here. You have a big follower count on X, and used to, before you were majorly involved in crypto, NFTs, even OTC, you had quite a bit of engagement. You would put out a tweet, you would expect to see lots of likes, lots of replies that weren't spam, okay? Once you got involved, or you can tell me this if I'm right, once you got more involved in crypto, do you feel like some switch was flipped to where you had less engagement once you started talking more about crypto and NFTs?
I guess so. I feel like there was like a huge. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I would say that.
Well, the reason I ask is I've heard you during that time and like NFTs and everything. You had said that you had said you had felt like engagement was down.
Yeah, it was.
During and that being like the time there with NFTs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess here's what I'm asking. I'm not asking, wondering for all of the crypto Twitter accounts is there less reach? Okay, not shadow ban, but maybe a little bit of a shadow.
Limited
reach.
Yeah.
Right. And is some accounts being like suppressed a bit? Yes, because they've talked a little bit. They've meme coined a little too close to the sun. I don't know. Just a theory that I'm throwing out there to see if you feel free to disagree. Feel free if you to say no. It just is what it is.
I mean, I do feel like it's died out from like, where we were. So that's what I associated it with. I didn't really think that it was starting to get suppressed, but I mean, with what happened with like the banning of accounts and accounts still not up today, it might be the case.
Well, let me just throw out this, like you and me and other crypto I don't know, influencer, just people that are talking crypto all the time. Okay. Is that an influencer? I don't think necessarily it is, but we're not running pump.funds account. We're not like what I write. What I tweet out, very few to zero people are doing anything that I'm suggesting with meme coins. Okay. So I'm not like moving the market at all, but these other ones are, and they are getting suspended. So my question is, it would be real easy to write a rule if like these accounts are associated with NFTs and crypto, suppress them a bit, but these ones that are actually moving the market, suppression isn't enough. Actually ban these accounts or suspend these accounts. I don't know. It just seems it would make sense to see that happen. I don't know. I will bet you some of the bigger influencers, Ashley, Blonde Broker, one of those, I'll bet they would have some opinions on that because they obviously have very good reach.
Right.
But I wonder if they still feel like they have less reach than they could have if they weren't in the space that they're in.
I wonder.
Yeah.
That's a good question to ask.
Yeah. So next time we see them, we can ask.
Yeah.
All right. Elon Musk once promised full transparency around shadow bans. He said users would soon be able to see if they were shadow banned and why. Now, he said this whenever he took over X, okay? But as of mid-2025, that has not happened still. He says the system is still being rewritten from scratch. X is partially open sourced. The For You timeline code, like what shows up on the For You page, actually is available and you can actually see it, but it does not expose the visibility filters or the content suppression logic. Meta admits that it lowers reach for borderline content. It does not define what borderline content means.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Because when I think borderline, I'm thinking like crossing in on illegal. Like is that what borderline doesn't say.
Huh.
Reddit shadow bans accounts quietly. Like this is a known thing.
Wow.
Reddit does. Yeah, Reddit does. YouTube demonetizes without always explaining. Right. So you'll have people, obviously, if you're not getting monetized, whenever you've been getting monetized, you might just quit making content then, right? And isn't that just as good as an account suspension, right? Just
Yeah.
now they're not, properly compensated for making content. And then the European Union's Digital Service Act now requires transparency logs for these shadow bannings, but that's mostly outside the US, and we're not seeing any of that. So I'd like to know what they're seeing. So there,
Strange.
I really would love to know if my account or your account or some of the other people that we know's account has a flag next to it that says crypto NFT associated account.
That sucks.
And if that's the case, does it have less reach? And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somebody would tell me, no, it's just your tweets just suck, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sure that may be a large chance to be the case. I do just wonder sometimes about reach, and maybe all this censorship that I'm seeing in crypto, big crypto accounts that are associated with meme coins, that could happen. Because I've definitely ran spaces that are talking about meme coins. I definitely have ran numerous spaces that talk about NFTs. If there was to be a flag, I would certainly have it. Let me just say that. Now, I don't know how long that would last because I haven't ran those in probably more than a couple years now. But if that is a flag that can be on an account, it's on mine. Here's some key takeaways. Censorship and legal action are starting to converge. Sometimes we don't take legal action. Instead, we just take censorship, right? And I think crypto builders are feeling that squeeze. The pump.fun suspensions reflect more, is it spam or is it some kind of exploit that they've done before? And this is kind of their penance they're having to pay, right? Mm-hmm. But Elon's transparency promise, that is still unfulfilled. This is still not what he promised us. And he says they're having to completely rewrite the code. But his quote of we're going to have to completely rewrite the code was from 2023.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah, it's old. Okay. So the future of crypto might not just be on tech and tokens. It might be on reach of who has this reach now. And that's why those that are able to crack this and get the reach probably hold a lot of weight, because what they put does seem to still get out there. And this is one of the reasons why I think meme coins are tough to break through. If you were just starting a meme coin, it is hard to get reach, to get out there. You have to almost use nefarious ways to get your word out there. So tough world out there for meme coins and social media, if you're going to be talking about that. I think if I'm being honest, I still love crypto. I still love Web3. I even have a heart for NFTs, and even though I haven't bought one in some time, I know that's different from your thoughts on NFTs, which is fine. But if I'm being honest, my own account, which has switched probably to a more technology and AI kind of focus, it is partially to do with, first of all, I enjoy those things. I really do. I really could be the voice of tech or something like that rather than the voice of DeFi. But I honestly think that I probably talk about those more because somewhere in the back of my mind, I think if I talk about crypto, no one's going to see it anyway. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's somewhere in the back of my mind.
These bots will.
You got more bots. No, okay. Our By the Rumor TV account, anytime it posts or you post, the same bots that are on your posts are on the By the Rumor account.
It's crazy.
Too.
I'm like, my gosh, it's like you have to just filter through to see who's real and responding, and you're like, of course. So
Bill Smith 23 is such a good trader. He's amazing, life-changing.
So weird.
I hope there isn't a Bill Smith 23, but there might be. But yeah, very, very things to think about probably as we look at these. First of all, let me ask you this. Do you think the pump.fun account should have been suspended? Or do you think it's fine? It's just the wild, wild west, and that's the way X should be?
I feel like it should not have been suspended, especially like not knowing why. And there's no transparency like Elon promised. So it's kind of strange. It's a strange thing. And I hope that there's going to be an explanation soon on why, because if not, that's just, it sucks.
I'm with you. I want as little censorship as possible on this platform, whether I agree or disagree with the content. The only time I think censorship should come is if it's like leading to mass violence or something like that. If somebody's planning terrorism or something on a live stream, that wouldn't be a good idea. But if somebody was doing that, I would hope some sort of moderation would come in. But that's about it. Otherwise, I tend to be more, call it libertarian on
yeah, same. I agree.
Yeah. We, Christine and I, are not planning on doing any terrorism on here. So don't help us reach by sharing this out. So,
yeah.
All right. I think we are about done here. Christine, this was really good. Your topic on sober culture. I can never get like the topic theme in my head. I know exactly what the topic is. I just can't think of the title for it. But your topic on sober culture I found to be very eye-opening and very interesting. I still don't know. Okay, I'm an old man now. I'm not sure I'm interested in alcohol-free partying. Not because it doesn't have alcohol in it, just because
going out even.
Yeah, that's the tism in me. Yeah, it just. I don't know. I'm still not very social either way. And you know that too. Yeah. I've been in Vegas with you and you've been like, hey, what you doing now? I've been like, I'm in the room and I'm staying here.
I know. I'm like,
leaving.
Are we doing something? And you're like, no, I'm in bed watching TV. Okay.
Exactly. Watching SmackDown on TV. No, I'm kidding. I don't watch SmackDown. All right. That is it for Tuesday, or for today's Tuesday. This next week we will have the episode 16. By the way, Christine, you said you were going to where? Alaska? Antarctica?
I wish. But Alaska, and I believe, so we leave Friday, and I did buy internet for the cruise. So I feel like I'm going to be able to just be live from Alaska, but you know,
are they in a similar time? Yeah, exactly. We've talked about this before, but do they have a similar time zone?
I didn't even check.
You should check. That actually, Alaska, it could be in your time zone. You know,
it could
Pacific.
Be. Yeah,
over
it could
there.
be.
Could be. Yeah, it might be. What's in Alaska? Are you gonna do something cool? Are you gonna ice fish?
So, I didn't book any excursions. This is the first time we're going, but I do want to check out what they have when we get on shore and see what they're offering. But I did see a lot of cool things, like, of course, whale watching. There's dog sledding, there's fishing, and then, they'll cook it for you. Just a bunch of stuff. So I kind of want to see what spikes our interest that day, because there's 7 days. So just see. But I definitely will report back. And hopefully...
Please do.
My internet lets me go on Tuesday.
As we should, as you should. I am gone in a week in July, and maybe we can do a pre-recorded one or something on that, and that could work out too. So we'll talk as we get closer to July on that. With that, I think we are done here. Great episode, Christine. Appreciate everybody that jumped in there. I'll make sure there's nobody here in there. Yeah, thank you, Alexander, for commenting in the chat. If you get a chance, share this thing out, and we will be back next week for episode 16. Till then, peace. Chasing the thrill of the digital hive. Toxic tech in a limited code. This is the path where the bold explode. Charts, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the roar, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. Silent screams in a world of risks and electric dreams. Become the future, take the ride. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Charts don't lie, but the faces do. Watch the market sway like it's testing you. The gossip's currency is hard to ignore. Behind locked doors lies so much more.